a one, and a two, and a... Good morning, and welcome back to the Livingston Parish News Morning Show. My name is McHugh David, publisher and editor of the news. Appreciate you joining us today. We'd like for you to take us just a second and remember September 11th, 2001. Today is the 18th anniversary of the event, and it was a devastating event. It affected thousands of lives and millions more as it united a country. It sort of changed the course of action for the United States. Until now, we still feel those effects today. So please take a second. Please remember those folks that were affected by that. There is an event in Livingston Parish every year called Cry Out America. It is at the Livingston Parish Council Chambers from 11:30 to 1. It is open to the public. That is in Livingston by the courthouse, if you'd like to visit that. We appreciate you if you're joining us live today. We also have audio and video versions of these shows posted at www.livingstonparishnews.com/podcast. We're on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, and YouTube. Excuse me. We're online at www.livingstonparishnews.com. And we are also in print on Thursdays and Sundays. So we appreciate you checking us out there. Again, these shows, as well as our long-form podcast, are posted at www.livingstonparishnews.com/podcast. They are free there. Getting into your traffic, it seems people are starting to get into the rhythm with school a little bit. Small delays on North Highway 16 near Live Oak High School. Those folks, as you can tell by the map, are funneling down towards I-12. Traffic on I-12 westbound backed up past Jubin Road. You exit those delays right about Sherwood Forest Boulevard. Jubin and 190 is stacked up as usual. 190, 4-H Club Road, and River Road are stacked up. Minor delays after the 10-12 split. Some minor delays on 64 heading into Central. It's currently 74 degrees. 93 degrees is your high today. 20% chance of rain. Partly cloudy. Excuse me on that one. First and foremost, as you will find in your Thursday paper, we did a little deep dive on the Delia Taylor situation. If you don't know what's going on there, last week WBRZ released a report that talked about several different things. There was a lot going on there. First and foremost, the report talked about over about a 6-year period, $120,000 was paid from Jeff Taylor's campaign to Delia Taylor's business, which is called Taylor Media Services. What it doesn't talk about is that Ms. Taylor has receipts for all of those. Normal media buys are about 15% commission. She only took about 4.6 commission over the lifespan, so that's over a 6-year period for the efforts. Also, all of that passed muster with campaign finance, so that it doesn't quite add up that it would be enrichment. And what enrichment means is that they are trying to funnel those campaign finances through a business to enrich themselves. The last thing is that we here at the news, as well as most media outlets that we know of, charge for political ads, for political advertisements up front. You know, we take money up front from the politicians, and there's two reasons for that. It helps them with campaign finance reporting, and it also helps us with collections. When campaigns wrap up, especially a lot of the larger ones, they use their special PO boxes, special addresses, special phone numbers, special emails. That all disappears, or it stops being checked regularly. So it's very hard to get paid once those campaigns end. So it's best practice, it's standard operating procedure to charge up front. That's what Delia did. She charged up front for Jeff's campaign, or her husband, Jeff Taylor, who is the assessor, and then took the money in a reimbursement form on the back end. She has receipts for all that, and again, those receipts, as well as the reports, have been submitted to campaign finance over the years and have passed muster. They've never had an investigation or any issue crop up. She also had continual communication year over year with campaign finance to make sure that they were in compliance. Now, they will have some issue with campaign finance in this regard. In 2016, a new law was passed that said that any business doing any business that is operating with a campaign, and the business is operated by a family member, it must meet certain criteria. It must be in good standing with the Secretary of State. It must be in operation for at least 12 months, and the transaction must be done at arm's length. So what's that? What does arm's length mean? First and foremost, that means there has to be a receipt, and it has to be done under normal standard operating procedure, which means a credit card or a check or something like that. Cannot be cash under the table. It has to be something where they have a paper trail, so that if campaign finance does decide to investigate, they can. Well, Ms. Taylor has all of those receipts, so the arm's length is a check. The first two will be problematic for this reason. Taylor Media Services is a sole proprietorship. So operating through the Secretary of State does not take sole proprietorships. They do not keep the information. They ship those folks straight to Louisiana Department of Revenue so they can get an LDR number and pay their taxes. But the Secretary of State does not deal with sole proprietorships. That was confirmed via Amanda Baker, who is the commercial division manager. So it will be interesting to see how campaign finance deals with that. Does the law need to be updated? Are they going to follow the rule of law? Taylor did communicate with both campaign finance about that situation as well as the Secretary of State. That's when she found out the Secretary of State, Ms. Baker, said we don't deal with that. Campaign finance said we're not sure. So it will be up to the Campaign Finance Board to determine whether or not that meets criteria. The secondary issue is that Taylor does not have an occupational license in Livingston Parish. Most businesses that have occupational licenses are those that are subject to sales tax. However, the rules changed sometime in the 2000s, wherein all businesses are required to have an occupational license. You must then go get exempted from your sales tax. Denham and Walker do it that way. So Taylor did not know that. The sheriff's office had not contacted her. For the most part, as we found, the sheriff's office only contacts those businesses they figure have either submitted sales taxes or subject to sales tax, those sorts of things. But parish law does state that you must have a occupational license, and then if you're not subject to sales tax, you go get exempt. So that is a problem. Taylor has come compliant per the sheriff's office. So we'll see if the sheriff offers up any punitive measures for that. What we did find out this morning is that the Miss Kelly Hennessy Dickerson from the school board, she's from District 2, which is Watson, asked if it was legal for the school board to be doing business with Delia Taylor. Delia does a lot of their newsletter stuff and helps populate their website with content and photographs. What the school board lawyer Mark Boyer found is that yes, it's legal. There is no issue there. What happens with most businesses and governmental entities as well is that would be too much red tape if you had to vet everyone you did business with. Your due diligence is to either have a W-9 or a Social Security number, a tax ID number on hand. Once you hit the end of the year, you submit either a 1099 or it's already recorded via their W-9 and their tax ID number. It's not your job as an employer to vet all of that. It is the state's job, and then of course it is the person's job to report it. If they don't, that's tax fraud. That's a whole nother issue altogether. Now, the extra question there was, well, this is a governmental entity. Are the rules the same? And the determination by school board lawyer Mark Boyer was yes, they're the same. There is no illegal activity for the school board to do business with Delia Taylor. So we'll be interesting to see what happens when they go before campaign finance. Because of the way campaign finance handles situations like this, they might get on the October agenda, probably won't until November, and then there will be an investigation. So there will be no clarity on that part of the issue before the election is over. So it will still be up in the air. So time will tell on that one. But that's the current situation that's going on with Miss Delia Taylor, Jeff Taylor, and the campaign finance issue. So next, when Dr. Cassidy, who was a U.S. Senator, was here last week, he visited the Activity Center in Walker. Now, one of the things the director said as he was speaking to a crowd was that the Activity Center that name does not really say exactly what they do. What it is that it is a centralized gathering area for those with special needs. and it helps keep them active. It helps find them jobs. Provides educational services for them. It's a one-stop shop for those who, once they reach that top age where they can't be in a public school system anymore, it's the next outlet. And it's fully staffed. It's just a great place. When we used to have a press here, they used to come do our inserts once a day. It was a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun those days. So, it's a really great facility. Just the whole facility, the staff, everything about it is just amazing. Well, they got money for a new building, and so Dr. Cassidy was visiting the new building. It's being built by John Blunt Contractors, and it's a beautiful building. It's absolutely representative of the facility and the faculty and staff who do their job. So check that out. It's www.livingstonparishnews.com/news. I took the photos that day. Mr. Fambro wrote up the story. Great story about the activity center. Just a great facility and a great thing going on there. Reminder that Buddy Ellis will soon be, construction will begin in the coming weeks. It is being widened to 22 feet. It will then have culverts installed on the sides, and then they'll be covered. Catch basins will be installed to get the water off the road and into those culverts. It will then be overlaid and striped. There's a bridge replacement in there as well. So folks living off Buddy Ellis, be prepared for some closures as that bridge gets replaced, really. We mentioned back in the spring that Buddy Ellis, Dunn, and Forest Delat, that would be Dunn Road, would all be done. We're looking to be done at the same time. The parish put the brakes on that and asked, at least for Delat, because both Forest Delat and Buddy Ellis, and those of you who know, that's kind of a southbound lateral just south of I-12. Not a southbound, it's a southern lateral that's south of I-12. They both have bridges on them, and they run about the same length along the same lateral. They didn't want to close both of them at the same time for a bridge replacement. So they're going to start with Buddy Ellis, which again is all of the projects, that would be Buddy, Forest Delat, and Dunn Road, are all going to be widened. They're going to have culverts installed. The culverts will be covered. Catch basins will be installed. An overlay will be done, and then they will be striped. This will all be happening over the next 6 to 8 months. Now, it's interesting how government works, because it took almost 6 months for all of this to kind of get going and flowing. But Buddy Ellis utility relocation has already occurred, so they're just waiting for construction to start there. Dunn Road will be 60 to 90 days before construction begins. You will see crews out there relocating utilities as bids are being let today. So bids are being let out today. They will find a construction company, and then utility relocation will begin. So keep your eye on Buddy Ellis, Dunn Road, and Forest Delat. Sometime in the next 6 to 8 months. One more time, they are going to be widened. Culverts are going to be installed. They'll be covered. Catch basins will be installed to get the water off the road. Then the roads will be overlaid and striped. So should be interesting to see what those pretty new roads there look like. One reminder that Dunn Road, thanks to Gravity Drainage District 1, will be getting larger street crossing culverts to get more water from the west side of Dunn Road to the east side, flowing into Gravity Drainage District 5. So that's good news, as that creek that feeds those culverts is entirely too big for the current size that they are. So that was something they snuck in there as part of the project. Folks on Dunn Road will probably see improved drainage in the next 6 to 8 months because of that. Gravity Drainage is also working in the area to try to get rid of things like gravel culverts that you just can't have, that block up ditches, as well as trying to find some of these drainage issues that are occurring in subdivisions that are off Dunn Road because of the way they were built before we, I guess you could say, really took drainage seriously. Excuse me. Unfortunate volleyball yesterday. Denham Springs got swept by Ponchatoula. You can read about that, www.livingstonparishnews.com/sports. That was written by Mr. Adam Henderson. All right, you got to excuse me, guys. As the weather starts to change, the time starts to change, my sinuses start to act up. Mr. Bushwhacks at Friday night's football game with Denham Springs was honored. They named the field house after him, a longtime staple. Mr. William Weathers got to catch up with him, wrote an opinion piece. It's in our sports section, www.livingstonparishnews.com/sports. Great guy, great supporter of Denham Springs High School athletics. Been around a long time, knows a lot about Denham Springs High School athletics. So please check that out. We talked about the activity center earlier. Well, just down the street on 190, about 2 miles east, is a place called Sling and Iron CrossFit. And of course, you've heard all these things about CrossFit, and I mean, those people get in real good shape. But once a week, they take time out where they don't have any classes, and they bring the folks from the activity center up there to do a little light workout, to stay active, to keep them healthy. It's really a great program. They describe it as it's like Soul Train, which is kind of fascinating. If you want to read more about that, it's a great story by David Gray. He caught up with the folks from the activity center as well as the folks from Sling and Iron. Did some interviews. It's at www.livingstonparishnews.com/living. Again, that's Sling and Iron CrossFit that helps out the special needs folks from the activity center, trying to help them stay in shape. That about rounds up the news for today. Let's check out our traffic again. Things, as mentioned, people seem to be getting on a good schedule with school. Looks like that traffic from 16's heading, or from Watson is heading down 16. And in Denham Springs, some minor delays at the lights. Again, we're having some heavy delays at 447 and Arnold Road, 1025. We actually had someone on Facebook mention the other day that they need a roundabout there. They must have a lot of people going through there in the morning. I'm sure they do. There are a lot of people that live on 447 north of Walker. So heavy delays there. Heavy delays on I-12 heading westbound, backed up to Jubin Road. Those delays will continue roughly through Sherwood Forest Boulevard. Minor delays after the 10-12 split. 190 River Road and 4-H Club Road currently having their normal morning delays. It's currently 74 degrees, 93 degrees is your high. It'll be a partly cloudy today, 20% chance of rain, which means maybe we'll have a little afternoon shower. Appreciate you joining us today. We will have some updates tomorrow morning as we get into our first parish council meeting in about 3 weeks. We had a 3-week break. There'll be some things about grinder pumps. We'll also be talking about Ward 2 water, among some other things. So please check us out tomorrow morning, 7:30 a.m. We also have an afternoon show at 4:30 p.m. If you miss a show, you can always check these out, www.livingstonparishnews.com/podcast. We put our long form podcast there as well as all these shows, blast them out as much as we can. We're also in print twice a week. We are on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, and YouTube. We have an app. We'd appreciate you joining us there. If you joined us live, thanks for joining us. We appreciate that. If you're listening to us later, we appreciate that too. Thank you for listening to the show. My name is McHugh David, publisher and editor of the news. We ask that you remember what happened today, 18 years ago, September 11th, 2001. We hope you have a great hump day, and we will see you this afternoon, probably Mr. Drew Walker, and then I will see you tomorrow morning for your parish council pre-gamer. Have a great day.